Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning and you are a regular subscriber and viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you all who stay tuned on my videos and just support me throughout this YouTube journey of mine, and I am forever grateful. So thank you so much. So yeah, as you can see in the title, by now, you must have assumed that I had COVID at some point throughout this pandemic. So I'm just going to kind of take you through my journey and what my experience was. I want to just put a very serious disclaimer forward in that I am not a professional, a medical professional in any capacity. I am only speaking from my experience. I am just letting you know my story, and that's about as far as it goes. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. I'm not here to tell you or put any judgment on what people do or how people express themselves throughout this pandemic and how they're coping with it. I'm just here to tell you my story and to put a bit of perspective into what the experience is like. For some people, everyone is different. As we know, this pandemic and this virus is so problematic in the sense that you just don't know what will happen. You don't know if you are on your deathbed or not. You do not know sometimes if you have it. So there's a lot that we cannot sit here and generalize. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of get right into the situation, what happened, what my experience was, and yeah, coming out of it and being the lovely person that I am. So yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button and help your girl live her dream. And if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please do comment. If you've experienced similar symptoms that I experienced, please let me know. If you want to let me know what your experience was like, if there are any similarities or none at all, please just let me know in the comment section. I'd love to have a bit of a back and forth conversation with you all. So yeah, let's get this video started. Okay, so if you're not aware by this point, I actually live in South Africa. I'm half South African, half Zimbabwean. I reside in South Africa at the moment, and we were hit pretty hard by the pandemic. You know, last year was one of the worst years of my entire life, and I'm still building up the courage to do a video about my experience and my mental health experience with this pandemic. But yeah, we were really in some serious lockdown, could not leave our houses, could not order food, had to literally only buy essential things, and that's about it. And we stayed home 24/7. And that was a good approach, you know, right in the beginning, because it did help delay the outbreak in order for, you know, the government to prepare hospitals, to prepare basically for the outbreak to really like get real. And it got real. So yeah, so last year was pretty hectic. You know, there was a lot of lockdowns. We only properly started coming out of lockdown, I would say, in like June, July, August. I can't even remember, you know, my memory also from last year is very like all over the place because mentally I just was not there. But basically, you know, nobody in my kind of circle I knew had COVID. So the first wave was pretty light in terms of knowing people personally who were infected or who had passed away. We did have a few deaths in the family, which was devastating. But slowly but surely, it started getting closer and closer and closer. You know, your friend has it, a family member has it, someone has passed away, you know, a parent, a friend's parent has passed away, etc. So, yeah, throughout then, and I remember even at some point getting a antibody test. And I think this was around like June or July. And I remember it came back like negative, and I was almost annoyed. I was just like, I almost wished I just had it and got it out the way, because I was terrified. I was just like, I don't know what to expect. I hope I'm one of those people who are asymptomatic. But the problem with that is when you're asymptomatic, you're just out here spreading it and you don't know. So I did do the antibody test just to see what's up. So we get to around December and things start to pipe up again. And keeping in mind, I've had a horrible year. It's, you know, everyone is, not just me, but everyone has had a horrible year. But we wanted to kind of just go for a little trip to Cape Town, just to kind of get away from the stress that we'd gone through on the work front, on just the daily life front with this pandemic. And so we planned a trip to go to Cape Town months in advance. And now second wave hits, and second wave hits pretty rapid. You know, it was spreading much faster. The strain was spreading so much faster, and we couldn't really cancel the trip, so we decided to go. And we went, and all was good. Came back. We literally traveled during the peak of the second wave, and we thank God none of us got COVID. We got tested and everything. None of us got COVID. So we thank God for that. And I mean, I think towards the end of the year, I'd also got to a point where mentally, like, I just couldn't just stay indoors 24/7. So here and there, go for lunch, you know, go for an event, all sorts of stuff, and try to stay as safe as I can, as well as just maintain my mental health and my, you know, recharge, because I'm more of an extrovert. So I really recharge around people. I love being social. I love being around people, and not just in a sense like, oh, I just want to party. I just want this. People, I love conversation. I love being in environments with people that I care about. So it was just trying to balance. It was a balancing act, to be honest. And COVID fatigue was real. It still is very real. So yeah, this is not me saying that it's right or wrong. Whatever your opinions are concerning that, it's fine, have them. I'm just explaining or giving you context into my experience, and just the mental space that I was in. But yeah, it was very surprising that, you know, having gone during the peak, being on a plane, the paranoia, it was just like, and Cape Town was like another level of not seriousness. I was just like, Joburg is hella serious about COVID, because people were just gallivanting and we were scared, so we weren't going to areas that were very crowded and stuff. But thank God, no COVID. Come back, cool, chilling, have Christmas with the family. None of us got COVID then, we thank God. I think also the December holidays are not very relaxing because it's a lot. There's Christmas, there's New Year's, there's all sorts. So we had decided to just do an intimate, you know, there were 5 of us at my place celebrating New Year's Eve, and yeah, just cook some food, have a bit of drinks, and go home basically for curfew. So you know, Christmas, New Year's, it was hectic. So by the time New Year's was over, I was exhausted. Like, I was already like mentally and physically exhausted from the year we had just had, right? Then with all the festivities and the family planning and the, you know, running around, the cooking, the celebrating, it really wore on me. So after New Year's, I was like, I am doing nothing. And I had taken extended leave, including unpaid leave, because that's how much of a break I needed. So I would say the next day, I remember feeling particularly tired, you know, and also in December, it is very hot here in South Africa. So, you know, we were sitting with the fan in our face, basically, because it was just so hot, like you're sweating 24/7, and we were cooking, and, you know, so the fan was in our face like 24/7. So now, I think the day later or 2 days later, I'm very tired, of course, and I know I'm like, oh, I'm just exhausted from all these festivities we've had, as well as I started having a bit of a scratchy throat. So my throat starts scratching. I'm like, probably shouldn't have had the fan in my face. But, you know, it was really hot. So fans in our face, I'm like, okay, you know, now I'm getting a bit of a throat thingy because I've had the fan in my face and I'm just really tired from the festivities. So I remember I had to go get a few groceries, just like for the next coming weeks that were coming, because I didn't want to leave the house and stuff after then. So I went to get groceries, and then I'm about to come home, and I remember just walking and feeling so tired. And now I start to think to myself, I'm like, is this a me tired? Because I'm more tired than the average person, even though I'm a very busybody, because I have hypothyroidism, which makes you very, very tired, even when you're on medication, even when your thyroid hormones are kind of balanced, you can still experience a lot of fatigue. So I really experience fatigue, and especially coming from the context or coming from the activities we had done the previous weeks, I knew I was just man down. But then this fatigue started to I was just like, this is like, I'm just really tired, just walking or pushing a trolley. So what I decided to do, I'm like, okay, I'm already out. Let me go to the chemist. I'm just going to buy all sorts of medications, all sorts of flu medications in case I'm getting the flu. So I get home, you know, I'm still very tired. I'm kind of relaxing and still thinking nothing. I'm still not thinking COVID anything. And I remember, I think that was a Saturday, because New Year's was on Friday last year, I think. So now on a Sunday, late at night, a friend of mine who was with us on the day texted me, and she's like, girl, are you feeling funny? Because I feel a bit funny and I'm a bit worried about COVID. So I was like, okay. I mean, I've got a bit of a scratchy throat, but I assume that's because we were sitting in front of the fan and it was just blowing in our face all night. And then I was like, I do feel very tired because my assumption is that I'm just like crashing because I've been so busy the past couple of weeks. So she's like, look, I'm gonna go get tested and I will let you know what the results are. So I was like, okay. So now she tells me this, and then oh no, this was actually, I think it was a Saturday or Sunday morning she had gone to get tested. And so then in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Let me just be safe and I'll go on Monday anyway, whether her results come back or not. So then around 11 p.m., I think that evening, she then told me, she's like, hey, I'm positive. I was like, ooh. So now I have to go. So now I'm like in a bit of a panic mode. And I remember messaging my family to be like, hey fam, hope you good. Just letting you know, I think I'm having a few symptoms and I have a feeling that I might have COVID. So I'm going to go test tomorrow first thing in the morning. So, and then we found out also my friend had it, who was with me on the day. So I go to get tested, and I remember that day, the fatigue, like that's where it really like was starting proper. I'm driving and I get out the car, and literally, because the second wave had hit, like there were always lines to get a test because people were like getting COVID. So even standing at that line, every time I had to move, I had to sit down and just like breathe. And I was just like, I'm tired as hell. This is something else. And so, go to get tested. And by the way, I was more scared of that COVID test than I was COVID. I have this phobia, or this whatever you want to call it, about things going up my nose since I was a kid. Like when you're swimming and water goes up, the discomfort I experience is so severe. I hate it. And then I'd seen a video of someone doing it, and they would describe it as it feels like they're scraping your brain. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. So the first test I'd actually had was when we came back from Cape Town. And usually I like to film things and stuff. I was so terrified. I had no thought processes to even be like, let me film my reaction to my first test. Second test comes. I'm like, bruh, I'm not here for this. I hate it so much. Anyways, I managed to do the test. Cool. Now, I call my doctor because I had to call the doctor to be like, hey, please give me a note so that I could claim with medical aid. And my doctor was like, please just get these A, B, and C. We're going to start treating you now because what we don't want is for the COVID to spread to your chest. So I'm like, all right, cool. Get my medications, go home, locked down. And so my partner, Nathan, was even like, he's like, do you really think you have COVID? I was like, I'm almost 100% sure that I have it because I have symptoms. And it's just the fatigue and then I started getting a temperature. That was something that also started to happen. So I think it was the next morning or in the evening, because now I have all my medications and I've started to treat myself. And then I also start to treat Nathan, even though he's not showing any symptoms. I'm like, we're pumping meds because we're not gonna play. I was steaming, was taking all the medications, taking my supplements, taking my immune boosters, and just pumping the medications. And then got the test, positive. We knew Nathan also had it, so we just stayed home, carried on treating each other. And now for me, it was just, my experience was just like I think like COVID has the weirdest symptoms put together for one thing. So you have the temperature, you have a runny tummy, because I started getting to a runny tummy. Then I had a scratchy throat, but the scratchy throat stopped after like 2 days of experiencing it. Then the fatigue, guys. I remember when COVID first came and I was watching a few videos of people who had it, and they kept talking about fatigue. And I'm like, isn't it any different from what I experienced? Because already I'm like a tired person, so I don't think it's gonna be that dramatic. I ain't never experienced tired like this one, to the point that I have no flu now, infection or in my chest, nothing. But the action of breathing, like just literally going, was exhausting, and it would peak. So what I started to notice is that my fatigue would peak in the afternoon around, like, let's say between 1 and 3. So I was either sleeping, or I couldn't even sleep. I'd just be lying on the bed, unable to do any, I couldn't even cook, nothing. So luckily my family, they would come and drop off stuff at our door, and then they were getting whatever other medications we needed and stuff. So we had that support, but I couldn't do anything. And I remember in the beginning, Nathan just couldn't understand. Like, he would think I'm annoyed, because when I'm tired, I'm very like, I'm just like, what? You know, I can't talk, and he thinks I'm pissed off, and I'm not. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm tired. I don't know what else to say. I just have no energy for anything. I can't even talk. I can't even breathe, you know? Then eventually got it. So, yeah, the fatigue for me was the worst symptom I had, because it is really debilitating. That's all I can say. It's debilitating to the point you are just man down, cannot do anything. Literally, even breathing is making you tired. So how can you get up and go and cook, or like, I don't know, shower, you know? I mean, I was still showering and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it was so tiring. And then my temperature kept going up, like really high, you know, having to manage that. It was just like, yeah. And I mean, the whole time, I think because I was just so focused on treating us and treating myself, I wasn't fearful necessarily for my life. I just was like, you know, throughout this year, I've really been trying to prepare my body, because I just kind of assumed, I feel like everyone is going to get COVID at least once. What is important is preparing your body for it. So I was working out a lot. I was trying to stay healthy. I was definitely a lot healthier. I was working out, so I was just keeping my immune system healthy, just so that like I can fight this thing. And so I wasn't so worried about dying. I was just worried about having the really bad side effects that would scare me and put me in hospital, because my fear was going into hospital, because all I kept hearing is as soon as people go to hospital, they are just dying. And so that was really, yeah, that was like, I was like, I'm not trying to get those symptoms where I'm going to go to the hospital. So I just focused on that. And what ended up kind of entertaining me and stuff is I luckily had gotten a puzzle. I mean, you know, during COVID, we were buying board games and things just to keep ourselves entertained, puzzles, word puzzles. So I had bought this puzzle a long time ago, and I was like, I think it's time to start building it. And it's actually hanging on the wall there, because I did a 1,000-piece puzzle in 5 days during COVID. And when I say I almost broke my neck from doing that, from the bending over, it was crazy. But what I'm gonna just do is read you guys, because what I did is I was tracking my symptoms, and I want to read my symptoms out to you from about day 1 up until the end of my experience. Oh, and one thing before I actually read that, I thought by like day 7, when now, I mean, I'm fine. Like the temperature's gone, the fatigue is still there, but everything else, I'm functioning. I'm able to now cook a little bit, you know, and order a few things and stuff. So I thought now I've avoided the taste loss and stuff. So I was like, I remember messaging my family, I'm like, woo, like, guys, I didn't lose my taste. I didn't lose my smell. So we Gucci. Next day, I wake up, I'm like, Firstly, food was tasting a bit weird. I think even that night, I remember I had made a cake, or I had made a cake, and like, it was hella sweet. And I was just like, no, this tastes too sweet. Then the next day, my smell was like, I was like, I feel like I'm actually not smelling anything right now. And then I started to realize when I lost my taste, I lost everything else but the taste of sugar and salt. So in everything I ate, it was either too much salt or too much sugar, just way too much. So that's all, like, you're eating food and all you're tasting is like, it's like you're literally eating a spoon of salt or a spoon of sugar, because you have no other taste taste buds or variants. It's just salt or sugar. So that's why the cake tasted so sweet, because I couldn't taste anything else but sugar. So that was interesting, because I thought it would hit me from the first week or the first couple of days, but nope, towards the end, like I'm already on day 10. Yeah, smell, taste, gone, sis. Okay, so I have my symptoms written down here, and my day 1 started with a scratchy throat and a dryish cough. Day 2, scratchy throat, dry cough, tiredness, but I wasn't sure if the tiredness was because of I just had a hectic couple of weeks, or it was COVID. And then I had a runny tummy. Third day, scratchy throat, phlegm, cough, runny tummy, nausea, exhaustion. Yo. Day 4, frequent runny tummy, then fatigue, scratchy throat. Day 5, fatigue, runny tummy, sneezing. Day 6, fatigue, fever, sneezing. Day 7, congested nose, fatigue, fever, headache. Day 8, fatigue, headache. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I had light sensitivity. And then loss of smell and taste. Day 9, loss of taste and smell. I was very bloated. And then I got the muscle pain. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I got some of these symptoms towards the end. Day 10, I had a migraine. I had a loss of taste and smell. And day 11, I lost my taste and smell. My taste and smell were now coming back. So from day 11 onwards, then I didn't really experience much. But now I remember actually feeling very bloated, and the muscle pain, I forgot about that. It actually feels like you literally have been working out and your muscles are sore. And that's what I'm saying, like these symptoms are just the strangest bunch of symptoms that are all just coupled together. So that just helped me track my experience, and so that I don't forget, which clearly I forgot if I didn't read. But yeah, afterwards, we did our 10 to 4, it was 14, we actually did 14 days quarantine. And then I was like, I want to go back and test if I'm negative to make sure. So actually, when we went to get tested, they kind of were looking at us weird, like, but why are you coming to get tested if you're negative? Like, I couldn't understand that until I had gone to get my antibodies tested. And obviously I had antibodies after having COVID. And what the nurse had explained to me is that you're actually contagious in the first 4 to 5 days. So initially when they had COVID had begun, they said you must quarantine for 14 days. Then they lowered it to 10 days, because then they realized that actually you're not contagious throughout that whole period. So they're lowering the quarantine dates, but they put the double-digit number just to ensure that you are not contagious. So they give it 10. 4 to 5 days you're contagious, but let's just wait another 5 so that you heal and you're good. So I was like, oh, and then so that's why he was like, after you have COVID, you quarantine. After your 10 days, you can now leave the house. So then now that started to make sense to me as to why the nurses were kind of like, but why are you testing negative? Why are you coming to test if you're negative? So overall, my experience was mild in retrospect, to like what's happening all around the world with the way people are dying. And it's devastating. It is devastating. I mean, I've always been one of those people who've been very uncomfortable and very awkward, and not knowing what to say when it comes to death, or having people close to me lose someone and then passing on my condolences, because you have these irrational thoughts like, if I pass my condolences, that means I'm going to be reminding them of what's happening and I'm going to make them sad. Just all sorts of like nonsense. But the sad part about this pandemic is that it's gotten to the point that I am so comfortable now sending my condolences to someone and sending, my love and support, because of how many people have died and how many people now have died in my close, knit or in my close vicinity, even people in my family. It's just, that for me is the most heartbreaking thing to just kind of come to the realization. And these strains that just keep multiplying. It is exhausting. And we're living in such a crazy period in history, because it's the COVID and staying safe and flattening the curve. Then the vaccine debate. Some people are terrified to do it because they think it's a short period of time. Some people are anti-vaxxers. Some people will just do it. But there's so much constant tension, and you do what you want. I'm not here to say A, B, and C. I got my vaccine because I just don't want the stress of traveling and not being able to see my family. Like, I haven't seen my family going on 2 years. My dad luckily came a couple of months ago and I hadn't seen him for over a year. I just want to travel and see them. I got the vaccine. That's it. I'm not here to come and tell people you need to do A, B, and C, because people are going to do what they want. What I'm trying to say is that it's just such a sad and anxiety fueling environment that we're in, that it's just, I feel like the most important thing we need right now is empathy with each other and just knowing we're all going through it. Workplaces need to understand that. People need to understand that. When you have friends who haven't spoken to you in a while, they may be going through something. They may be suffering from COVID. They may be having long-term effects of COVID. I mean, I had the fatigue for 3 months even after I had it, you know? And I was also in a very bad work environment too at the time. So, you know, that contributed to it and contributed to just really struggling to just stay sane, honestly. And I will be doing a video kind of, talking about my experience and my mental health with this pandemic and just, toxic environments and whatnot. But it's just taken me a long time to get to a space where I can actually speak without crying. So we're there, but I will be doing that video and it will be coming soon. But I mean, I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what my experience was like. It's, you know, there's nothing more I can say to it because there's just too much going on. And this was my experience. This is what happened to me. We thank God we came out okay. I thank God the long-term effects kind of faded eventually. And we're here and we're alive. And, you know, all we can do is stay as safe as we can. Stay as sane as we can, because it's not easy. Depression, anxiety are at an all-time high. And it's really important for us to be supportive, to be empathetic with each other, and to just spread more love than anything, because we are all going through it. And that's my story, and that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video the best way you can. I mean, it's not necessarily a video to enjoy or not enjoy, it's just more educating you on what my personal experience was, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who've shared their stories. I just hope everyone out there is staying as safe as they can, protecting each other as they can, and just spreading love and more positivity than anything. And yeah, guys, we'll get through this one way or another. We've got years to come with this, and all we can do is take it day by day. And that's just how I'm trying to live, and also just maintain a sense of peace in my life in one way or another when it's a very stressful environment we're in. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will catch you at my next video.